You messing my wishes up. You messing my wishes. Let's make a wish. Ready?
All right, cool. You ready?
I'm ready.
Alright. Okay, so welcome everyone back to Simply Philosophy. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome.
Hold on, you taking my spotlight.
Okay, guys, this is Marlon,
Truth and trees.
big personality. So today's topic, I'm Rastaraya, by the way, if you guys don't know yet. So today's topic, we're going to be focusing on personality. Specifically, can you change your personality? That's the question, actually. I would like to know people's thoughts on it. We're going to ask Marlon what he thinks about it. What do you think, Marlon?
Changing your personality?
What do you think about that?
I think changing your personality is a complex thing because the personality itself has so many different layers in it.
Right.
And sometimes like if you break down the word like person, like and like your ability to even be a person is comes with different type of emotions. So you have your happy emotions, you have your sad emotions, and in efforts to kind of like really find like your a personality, so to say,
Right.
a overall personality. I think it comes with like balancing those set of emotions, because like your personality may be not be how you are expressing yourself, but how people see you, and they might see you as in a different way than you see yourself.
True, but does it really matter? Like how someone sees you, doesn't it? It really at the core is how you see yourself. I think more than anything, everyone's gonna have like a subjective point of view on what they think of you when they first met you, or when they see you walking down the road, or when they get to know you. All of those things change over time, and then people change naturally anyways.
Yeah.
So that opinion is always going to be varied. How you feel integrally about yourself, who you think you are, like that has a big. I think that encases who you are. So that's part and parcel of like personality. So I don't really think like people should have that big of an impact. But our question is, can you change your personality?
Changing, can you change your personality? I think you change it over time. Yes, I think your personality actually changes over time anyway.
Okay.
So my personality, like generally, was different if I was from when I was a child to, to like now and like my young adult.
Do you think that? Okay, so I think that certain things are innate in people. Like there's innate characteristics of a person.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would love to hear what people think. To be honest, because I think, honestly, I am so sold on this idea. I believe that people have integral characteristics that are built in to them or their personality that makes them who they are, and you can't change them.
Even when they was a baby?
You can't change them.
Even if they're a baby?
When you're a baby, it's different. As you grow up and you learn, there's certain integral things that start to form people. Like, for example, if someone is a cheater, they're just a cheater. Just keep it moving in your life, okay? This is for anyone in a relationship who has been cheated on, being cheated on. Just keep it pushing, because some things are integral. Some things are characteristic traits. For example, if you met your girlfriend, I don't know why you're looking like that. If you met your girlfriend and she has a jealous spirit, for example, and then you marry her and you feel like, oh, she's acting jealous, or she's displaying this kind of character, her personality is like this and she wasn't like this before. She was always like that. It's a character trait, basically. She was always like that. You knew she was like that. So I think that there's certain things that are integral about people that you can't necessarily change. You have to adapt to them. You can't just change them.
It kind of sounds like you're not. What if people want to make a change?
It doesn't matter.
Don't matter. So people can't change?
Yes,
so basically,
people can change, but there's certain characteristic traits about people. Character. Do you get what the word character means?
Okay.
Yeah? There's certain characteristic traits about people that just don't change. Okay, for example, use your parents as an example, people. Okay, think about your mom or your dad and think about certain characteristical traits that they had from you were a youth till now. They have not changed. And you know what? They were probably like that when they were 19 and when they were 15. Because it's a character trait. They can't necessarily change it. Yeah, they might be able to maneuver and they may be able to change how they respond in certain situations. So someone might be like, okay, you know what? I react quite flippantly to situations, so I'm going to try to calm myself down. Okay, cool. And they can do that. But it doesn't mean that that part of them dies. It doesn't mean that it's just like that, it's gone. No, that's not the case. Yes, they are changing or they're trying to change, but that part of them, if needs be, can come out at any point in time. So I really do believe that there's a thing called character traits within people that just doesn't change. So if someone cheats on you, for example, if your wife has a jealous spirit, if your friend has a certain particular way about her, yes, she can try, or he can try to maneuver, they can try to do other things, they can try to maybe display themselves in a different way, but that side of them isn't lost, it's not gone. Integrally, that is inside the person, and at any point in time it can come out if needs be. If pushed to the limit, that person will show you that side of their character. Which is why sometimes people are like, oh, I never knew the person was like that. Because character traits are integral. And I believe that. Please let me know what you guys think. If you guys think this is crazy, what I'm saying, that people are set in their ways to some extent, I'm not saying that people can't change at all, but integral characteristic traits in your personality, nah. So no from me.
All right. So basically, character builds personality, is what you're getting at.
Yes,
Okay.
because I know liars that were liars that are still liars.
All right, true. But you know, there's not even it's not even a but aspect. It's really okay. I do think that people have certain characteristics about them that kind of build who they are as a person. That kind of that basically they've been habitually perpetuating their actions to make them be like this or even feel like that.
Right.
So I think that people can genuinely change from the inside out if they start to build this certain habit in their lives that helps them to change their character. So like sometimes people might be one way, but if they really want something, and it's like in efforts to like build their discipline like in their life, they have to like change their habits, and ultimately that will help them to change their outlook or their perspective on life. And then that characteristic that they gain from that new perspective will help them to maybe put themselves in another person's shoes or kind of like see how
I'm not disagreeing with you.
All right, so what are characteristics?
I think when people build other, like you said, other habits, basically, or build more positive habits that may be able to counteract some of their negative traits, so people can push themselves beyond like their limitations. I'm definitely not taking away from that, because there's something called growth in life. Like people grow, people experience and people grow. So I'm definitely not taking that away. However, I still don't believe that those characteristics disappear. I don't believe that they reside in the person. They reside irrespective. I don't care what no one says. Irrespective, it resides in the person. It doesn't just disappear. It doesn't just go away. Yes, they can override that characteristic trait. They can override it with the sort of better habits that they picked up or other things that they learned or that they've grown along the way. But don't get it twisted. That lies inside the person, and if needs be, if they're pushed to the limit, you will see that character. They will show you that side of themselves, and I believe that wholeheartedly, and I think that's the reason why people get into, whether it's relationship, friendships, any kind of human interaction and communication, whether even family, where you see a side of a person, you're like, I never knew the person was like that, or I never knew they had that in them. It was always there. They might have been overriding it, but that lies within the person. Characteristically, certain things lie inside people, and I believe that. So I don't really think people can change their personality per se. It's not that they can override certain things, but I don't think people can just change it. And I think the notion of personhood is complex anyway. The whole notion of what makes a person, and how you kind of embody a person. But that's another topic for another day, like personhood, philosophically anyways. If I was going to go into philosophical notions of person and personhood, that's a whole other topic to kind of dissect, but just on a general, can people change their personality and their characteristics? That's like my overview of it.
I feel you. You know, I feel you on that. It's I like the shifts. I like the subtle shifts, and you know, I have hope in humanity, so
Sure.
I genuinely want to like I want to be able to change. I want to be able to change. No, I want to be able, because I know the change that I've gone through. Me and my person in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I know the changes that I've gone through in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, things that I used to look at like I've changed. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
you know, not to. And when I look at like my character, okay, like I've always been kind of like grounded, and like I've always kind of been I don't know. How would you describe me?
Okay, so I do think that you are a grounded person, and I can definitely see that that's always been a
Yeah,
part of
what's
you.
a characteristic?
Determined. You've always been quite determined, competitive. These are all things that are characteristically a part of who you are, and always has been. I don't even have to ask you that, even though now that I've gotten to know you in no parts of your life, but just from like the conversations, like when we first met and stuff, I could already see those kind of characteristical traits within you, basically. And those are things that I think are integral. Like, they build people.
Okay. Discipline.
Yeah, discipline.
Being practical.
Practical. Kind of linear, like, you know, those people who like to just set things out very...
Fiery, ambitious.
Yes.
Silly. Is that a characteristic?
Yes, like
Silly.
some people just straight goofy. Like, that's just who they are. I think I'm that kind of person. Like, I've always kind of just been silly. I don't really take... Why are you doing that? I don't think... No, honestly, Marlon, come on.
No.
I don't take things overtly seriously. Even though, like, okay, I'm a philosopher. I study philosophy and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's that side of me. There's that aspect. But I think I balance it out with the fact that I've always just kind of taken things very... quite light heart, I'd like to say.
Yeah.
I got quite light heart.
All right. So these have been tips for how to or how to not.
No, these aren't really... No,
change
it's
personality.
not. It's not about how to not or not change personality. It's for you to start to think about yourself.
Simply philosophy.
Your characteristical traits, actually. And think about, how can I maneuver to make things work for me in my life? Because this is who I am. Okay, this doesn't work for me. Even though society might say this is how it works, I have this kind of... my character is this way, or I'm inclined that way. Whatever it might be in your life. So you can start to think about how to maneuver in society, to maneuver in your own life and learn more about you. And whoever you may come in contact with, whether it's family, friends, partners, you can start to look at your partner now and say, that's a characteristic trait. Am I willing to live with that? You know, can I cope with that now and in the long run? So, or even in your friendships, in your family, do I need to take myself out of this situation because my character won't be able to sustain their characteristical traits?
That's something else I want to add. Never change yourself for somebody else.
Don't do that.
Don't never change yourself for somebody else. So if you have to feel it in like genuinely in your heart that you actually want to change.
Yes.
Because
it shouldn't be because somebody
else
is forcing you, or you're feeling like your hand is being forced in order to change. Because it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
To change for someone isn't sustainable. It will never really last, you know. The real you will come peeking out at some point in time.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Not your life, honestly, is such a gift that it's really not worth putting it in someone else's hands in that way, you know, to say that I'm going to change for this person. Because then if anything does happen, you know, you then start, this is where responsibility comes in. People start to pass the blame. And I think that's one of those traits that, like a toxic personality trait, actually, when people start to pass the buck. It wasn't, you know, it's changed for you, so this is why it's like this. So really think about your own character.
Yeah.
And how you can foster change within yourself by understanding more about your integral characteristical traits.
Yeah, because you have purpose.
Sure. Everyone does.
Yeah. You know, tap into that purpose, tap into that potential.
We didn't do our sponsor spotlight. I just realized that we're almost at the end of our video.
Ace Got Talk.
That's who I wanted to do. Ace Got Talk. We actually recently did a show with him.
Oh,
I
man.
feel it's sure. Ace Got Talk. I feel it's So
Chat,
please
chat.
check him out on YouTube.
Yeah. He's on all platforms,
he's
really.
on all platforms.
If you want to
Instagram.
join, if you want to join the business club on WhatsApp,
Yeah, he's got
reach
radio
out.
show.
Radio show.
Which we've also featured on. He is an amazing person, has a lot to share with the world. Huge character and personality.
Yeah, he's got a personality, man. That guy's personality.
Yeah, big personality.
Yeah.
Like, so please check him out. We just wanted to take the time to, you know, make him our spotlight on this platform because he's well deserving of it. You know, and give thanks, Ace, for all the work that you're doing. If you hear this, more love, more guidance, more peace.
More peace, more balance, more ease.
Thank you everyone that's joined us and who has been following us thus far on our journey, on our podcast.
We hope you well-being in these times.
Yes,
And, you know, thank you
COVID-19.
for the patience. When we'll get more episodes to you soon.
Yeah, stay grounded in all of this madness and all of this stuff that's going on at the moment.
Work on the garden. Work on building a new
That's
craft.
what we've been doing.
Yeah, work on building a new craft.
Get creative. Do
Creative.
some things that you haven't done before. Have fun. Like you have time now. There's no excuse to say I don't have time. Like you actually have time.
It's a non-renewable resource, so
Use it.
keep at it. All right. One love.
As
Simply philosophy.
is.
Peace.